Salutes. Salutes. Welcome to the Real Big Fruit Podcast. I am your host, Big Fruit, and tonight is Talking on the Gate with a special guest, Mr. Patrick Stevens. Patrick Stevens is an old friend of mine. We did some time together. And he's a great brother, man. He gonna come up here on the show. We're gonna call him. He gonna represent. He got so much going on. He doing so many things out there in the hood. He's doing so many things out there in the hood. We're gonna get the brother on the line and salute him. Let him tell you what he's doing. But before we do that, I gotta send my rest in peace shout out to Shoe Shine. Today they supposed to have the visual MRC projects. If they were supposed to have it, I'm quite sure they did. I ain't seen nothing posted on social media. I'm looking. So rest in peace, Shoe Shine. But I also gotta say, shit is crazy, man. Rest in peace, Jonah. I got word today that the homie Jonah out of Albany Project, Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, passed away today. Yeah, man, I heard he was in and out of the hospital. He was feeling ill. And he passed away today. I got that word today. And they say, man, when God take him, he take him in threes. And I know three legends that left us back to back to back. They lost Tata out in Queens, rest in peace. We lost Shoe Shine, and now Jonah. Real talk, I'm hoping the buck stops right there, man. Real talk. I'm hoping the buck stops right there. You know what I'm saying? Shit is crazy. Shit is so sad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, rest in peace, Jonah, man. Rest in peace, Jonah, man. Rest in peace, Jonah. Salute, Gary. Salute. Brother, without further ado, man, I'm gonna get the brother Patrick Stevens on the line because he gonna have so much to say, bro. The brother gonna have so much to say, man. I ain't gonna hold him up. I wanna talk to the brother. Here we go. Let's get the brother on the line.
Hello?
Salute.
Yo, salute, beloved. What's good?
What's up, beloved? How are you, man?
I'm good, bro.
It feels great to hear your voice, brother.
Likewise. It's been a long time.
Yeah, man, it has, man. It's been a long time, but we were together for a long time. You know, we were together for a long time, and let me just say, I feel so good to have you on the phone because I need your energy right now. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to. I didn't want to call no music artists. I didn't want to hear no rappers. You know what I'm saying? It's a sad time for us back home in Brooklyn. We lost Shoe Shine, rest in peace, Shoe. And then today I got word we lost the homie Jonah out of Albany Projects. You know what I'm saying? So I'm proud to have you on the phone today with this energy because I need it, and my people need it, and my people watching need it. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. So I would like to first and foremost welcome you to the show. Welcome to the Real Big Fruit Podcast, and it is an honor and a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, beloved.
And I didn't really tell them much about you. I let them know you served some time. You accomplished a lot while you were in prison, and now that you're home, your boots on the ground, doing a whole lot. I didn't tell them much. I told them you was gonna tell them everything you're doing, and the floor is yours, brother. I would like to ask for you to start with introducing yourself to them.
Sure. Patrick Cushie, you know, what people call me Cush. I've been home now, I think the 18th I've been home. And I spent 24 and a half years in prison. Since I've been home, like you said, I've been on the booth, I've been on the ground, working hard. It's hard to forget about the people that we left behind. You and I, we went so long together for many, many years. Decades ago was there. Before I moved home to certain places so I could get my education and, you know, basically just start this career. And so for me, it's been a crazy journey. There's been a lot of firsts for me this year. As you know, like I said, 7 months I've been home, and I really, you know, I'm not about to start from behind. Like the CAUs, the ACAOs, the LEPs, the organizers that we were doing on the inside, and the education that we were trying to spread on the inside is something that it translates directly to what I'm doing right now.
Okay, I want to back it up. I want to talk about the incarceration. With you being incarcerated with a lengthy amount of time, you went in at a young age. Am I correct?
Yeah, I went in when I was 24.
Oh, you went in in your 20s. You weren't a teenager.
Yeah. No, I wasn't a teenager. I was 25. I spent my 25th birthday in prison.
Okay, so you were a young adult. Okay, now how long did it take before you began to, how do I say, adjust to prison and make the decision that you wanted to make a change in your life? Like, how long did it take for that to take place with you?
Shawana was a different kind of space, right? Like, for those who don't know, at the time, Shawana probably had one of the average lengths of sentences throughout the state, with the exception of maybe Clinton, when people were serving very long sentences. And, you know, the community was very religious. So me coming in as a young person, you know, I got snatched up real early. Like, oh, you from Brooklyn, you Jamaican, you'll get down with the CAU. All right, we need a secretary. We need somebody to, you know, do some of this paperwork. We need a vice president. All right, now your vice president's going out, you got to be president.
Okay. Were you immediately open to that transition?
Yeah, that transition, it was something that you didn't really notice, right? It was, you're just doing work on behalf of the people, and something happens to you when transition, like you can't be at the same time, right? So either you're here to help to heal the community, or you're here to destroy it.
Right.
The teenager, young man was spent in ways that were very destructive.
Right.
And so when I came to prison and got around dudes like Rasta B and Sunday, Larry White, and these brothers were very organized, be diligent.
It sounds like you're going in and out. It sounds like you're going in and out.
Working.
It sounds like you're going in and out.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so these brothers were very diligent in making sure that the young people in the facilities were engaged in positive activity.
Okay.
And so for me, I was doing, so that's really, so my transformation wasn't, I can't say that it was a deliberate, a lot of things started to change in my mind and my thinking.
So it happened organically.
It happened organically. It was just a natural process.
Okay. So now you get with the organizations in the facility. Salute, peace. Versace was popping. You get with the organizations in the facility.
Right.
You get your education.
Right.
You eventually make parole. Now you come home, and what's your mission?
So the mission, the beauty itself. So I want to back up just a little bit.
Okay.
I want to back up a little bit. So in Shawanga, right, we were with you remember, like, in the 90s, a lot of the college programs were gone.
Right.
Right? And so under the PACE organization, Prisoners for Aid Council of Education, with Roy Boulis and the brothers, we were able to, do some sort of college work.
Mm.
Those exams we could use to transfer to get credits from other credits.
Okay, so you utilize the PACE program to get college credits.
So we had to go through the PACE program to get any college credit, any recommendation college credits, right?
Okay, I got you.
So, and different program.
Yeah, you're definitely going in and out.
To
You hear me, Patrick?
a college.
You hear me, Pat?
Yeah, I hear you.
You're definitely going in and out now.
All right, hold on. See if I can put it on speaker. Hold on. See if it sounds a little better. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you very clear.
Okay, good. I turned it up a little bit.
That's better.
Keep going. And so, so that Andrews finally got me out of the facility where I could get to a medium, and I went to Eastern Correctional Facility where they had the Bar Prison Initiative.
Mm-hmm.
And so there I got my AA degree, I got my BA degree. My classification dropped by then. I went to Fishkill for about 5 months, and from there I went to Sinton to go to the master's program, New York Theological Seminary, where I got my master's.
Salutes, man, on that master's.
Yeah.
Salute.
Yeah. And then 3 years later, it's the parole board. I was awarded 6 months off of my sentence, and I was able to be released in May of this year.
So you're fresh.
Literally, like yesterday, made like 7 months.
Wow, and you're active already.
I'm acting. It was a beautiful thing. So one of the things after I got my master's, it was like, what are you gonna do, right? And so I started writing, and I got connected with an organization called The Appeal. So I currently do freelance writing for The Appeal magazine as well. And their mission is all about topics related to mass incarceration. So everything I write for them is about humanizing the experiences of incarcerated people. A lot of my articles were about COVID, because COVID hit us very hard while we were in the facilities. Almost everybody I knew was sick. A few people died. It was not a good feeling. The business was shut down. Morale was very low inside of the facilities, and so.
Okay, now I want to stop you right there, brother. You're the first person that I'm actually speaking to that was in a prison in New York State during COVID.
Wow.
Walk me through that, brother.
Wow.
So, what facility you were in, first of all?
So I'm in Sing Sing. I'm in 5 building, and for those who don't know, 5 building is a place.
Okay, 5 building is kind of cool. It's real small.
It's very small.
Yeah.
Gallery, probably about 6 cells.
Yeah, that's right. They put the college students in 5 building. That's right.
Exactly. So master's guys were all in 5 building. Guys in various programs in the facilities were also in 5 building. Guys were in college programs.
Right.
And so, March of 2020, I remember it was like a Saturday. They shut the jail down. Like there was no movement. Everybody was locked in the cells for weeks. And like there were no visits. Everything was shut down.
For how long?
For months. Like there were no visits, no FRP, nothing.
No movement.
No movement. There were no programs. Everything was shut down.
No showers. No
classrooms. Well, it's right. It was like the bathhouse was running.
Okay.
Commissary was running, but it was different because they had to do social distancing, and so things that might take an hour were now taking 2 hours.
Right. I can imagine so.
Right. They're moving people in smaller groups. It was officers are calling out sick. Officers are getting sick.
Right.
It wasn't a good look. And,
wow.
And the hard part about it is that there was no testing yet, right? There was no testing. There were no vaccines at that point. It was just hope you get through it and you survive, right? And fortunately, most of us did. Unfortunately, there were a few cases passed away from COVID while we were there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. So my sister, you know, so I had gotten sick, and it was very strange because I didn't have the normal symptoms, right? The normal symptoms that we heard about at the time were loss of smell, loss of taste.
Right.
I didn't have that. I just had, I was just very lethargic. I didn't have an appetite, and you know, there was no place to really go. Like you could go to the hospital, but the hospitals were full. They started making space on the first floor of 5 building as a quarantine space, but that could only hold some 30 people, right?
Wow.
So if you get it and you're sick, you just got to hold it down and basically just stay in the cell and stay away from everybody, which is what I did. In the cell, stayed away from the phone, and my sister was going crazy because I called my sister once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, and now she's not hearing from me for a whole week. And she knows COVID is running rampant. I need to hear from you, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was difficult.
Wow, bro. I'm glad you made it through that.
And I'm gonna tell you, and the scary thing about it is, when I thought that I had recovered, right? Me and a friend, we went to go work out. Anthony Perez, I'm sorry, you might remember him. He was in Shawango with us for a little while as well. He was there with me. We used to work out together. And so when I start feeling better, we go to work out. Beloved, I couldn't get through the warm up. I couldn't breathe. We went to the yard. I'm sitting in the yard. I spin the yard twice. I need to sit down, right? And then we start hearing more about COVID on the news, about, you know, this long-term effect, like the scarring in the lungs. And so I'm terrified, thinking like this is going to last forever.
Right.
You know, doing everything I can, push-ups, burpees, jumping rope, everything, hitting the bag, everything to get my wind back up. And it took me months to get back to where I was prior to contracting COVID. It was psychologically rough.
So you were diagnosed with COVID, or you just saying you had COVID?
No, we were never none of us were diagnosed because they didn't have any tests. But it was so vastly different from a flu. Like I didn't have any mucus. It was just simply my breathing I was very tired, and my breathing became extremely labored for nothing.
Right.
Like the yard, I could not walk from 5 buildings to 8 block yard without getting tired. Like I had to stop. Like it could be nothing else but COVID.
Right. I got you.
You know what I mean? The flu doesn't do that to you. There's nothing else that does that to you like that.
I got you. I'm glad you made it through that, brother.
You and me both, beloved.
Wow.
That would have been, you know, after doing 20-something years, you know, plan to come home and do this work and to think that you might not make it is not a good look.
Nah, not at all.
Not a good look.
And R.I.P. to those that didn't make it through that, man. Rest in peace, man. It's nothing like to lose your people while they're incarcerated, man. I know that was tough.
Yeah, listen, that's the worst. Your family worried about you. You know what I mean? It's a tough reality, and it's even worse for those brothers who are in mediums, where they're in, you know, they live in dorms.
Yeah, that's wide open.
It's wide open. There's no separation whatsoever. Like you breathing the same air day in, day out. There's no escaping that. There's not enough social distancing in the world.
And then if they shut them down, they just holding everybody hostage in the dorms.
Right.
That's not cool. Wow, I can only imagine.
So you were basically quarantined on your housing unit.
Yeah. And COVID just spinning around the dorm.
It's just spinning around the dorm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's total madness. Yeah, I'm glad that I and others were able to survive that and eventually make it home, beloved.
Absolutely, brother. And now, speaking of being home, you are out here active, brother. I seen you on the city hall steps. I seen you in front of Edgecombe Correctional Facility.
Right.
You talking about budget cuts. You talking about no more prisons, but rehabilitation. Let's talk to the people, man. Please tell the people what you're doing out there, brother.
Definitely. All right. So, I still write for the Appeal, but my full-time job is at the Center for Community Alternatives, CCA. They've been around for 40, 50 years.
Okay.
They're up in Syracuse, and their mission is the end of mass incarceration in New York State.
Mm.
And so I largely work in leadership fellow, but I also do a lot of work in advocacy and organizing. So when you see me on the steps of City Hall, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing advocacy and organizing work on behalf of CCA. So we've been a part of a lot of different initiatives, and one of those would be, as you mentioned, in front of Edgecombe, that was the Communities Not Cages rally. And so Communities Not Cages is essentially a coalition of organizations who are supporting three bills, right? One, we want to eliminate mandatory minimums.
Okay.
And so those penal laws that we're familiar with, predicate, persistent felony, concurrent sentencing, we're trying to have those eliminated. Right. And the other caveat with the bill is that a clear presumption against incarceration, and we want to require that a hearing be done before any period of incarceration can be imposed and reorient individuals towards healing and accountability pathways. Something that I'm very hugely a fan of.
Okay.
That's eliminating mandatory minimum.
Okay.
The other act is the Second Look Act, which would allow sentences to review and reconsider excessive sentences, right? And so what would happen is after an individual has served at least 10 years or half of their sentence, if their sentence is extremely long, we want that individual to be able to present to a judge and say, look, I've transformed my life. I'm not the same person who committed this affront many years ago.
Right. So you're talking about long-term prisons.
Right. We want people out of prison.
Right.
Who deserve to be out of prison. And the last part of it is our Earned Time Act. And so under the Earned Time Act, we want to strengthen and expand good time and merit time. As you well remember, when we were inside, no merit time for us. If you were a violent felony offender, when we were in Shawanka,
right.
How many brothers did we know? Larry White, Joe Garrett, and these other, Shoaib Abdul-Rajim, brothers who had gone to the parole board multiple times.
10, 15 times.
Right? These brothers would tell us, look, if you have a violent crime, you can expect to get hit 2 or 3 times.
Well, shit, when Pataki got in office in the late 90s, he more or less was like, yo, all violent felons CR. That was the unwritten rule. And
that was the unwritten policy. That was a fact.
Yeah, and if you had life on the back without a CR, you was fair game, man, until he got out of office.
Yeah, look at, oh, man.
Real talk, that's basically what it was in a nutshell.
Say again?
I said basically that's what it was in a nutshell.
That's what it was.
Once he got in office, it was an unwritten rule with the parole board commissioners. All violent felons must CR. And if you didn't have a CR date, you had life on the back, you was fair game, and you more or less didn't get out until he was out of office.
Right, basically. Or unless they just got tired of hitting you.
Yeah. Because when he was in office, 12 years?
He was at, right.
12?
Right. It was it. And the whole time that he was there, and not only that, it was making sure that many individuals got the max.
Yeah.
Right? In terms of sentences, like prosecutors were rabid to make sure that if you had a violent felony, we're going to try to give you the max, especially if you take it to trial. I went to trial. I was sentenced to 25 to life, and in those early years, it was like I might not make it home until I'm 60 or 70.
Right.
Right. Fortunately for us, he's no longer in office, and no one like him, and Lee Zeldin did not win the governorship. I'm very, very thankful for that. But that would have been the rollback, right? That would have been Kentucky Part 2.
Absolutely.
Do what they're doing. And so politically, like, the other thing is to make sure that Mayor Adams doesn't slide into this sort of anti-crime, right-wing conservative sort of approach to criminal legal system reform. And already he's rolling back cuts. He has proposed cuts, and he's, you know, very concerned, to put it mildly, about bail reform.
Right, right.
So these are some of the things that we're pushing back against. So that community not changes. Those three bills are things that we support. At Queensboro Correctional Facility, we had a rally about the package ban. As you know, they took away packages.
Also, Queensboro don't get no more packages at all.
Yeah, there's no more packages unless you get it from a vendor. You can't get a package from home. That's
Queensboro?
Yeah, that's what it is in the state right now. And the city is trying to follow suit, which is another thing that we're also fighting. But people don't really understand what it's like to get something sent from home, right, from your family. Like my mother lived in Florida the entire time that I was incarcerated, and it's hard to describe what it felt like to get some mangoes from my mama's tree in her backyard.
Right.
In a package. Like, it's a beautiful thing. I keep one mango, I just keep it in the cell because I want the cell to smell like mangoes.
Right.
For a couple, I'm making juice. You know, I'm sharing mangoes with my brothers. Right. We're having Thanksgiving is coming up. You get a package from home. Brothers are cooking together. They're sharing food together. There's a communion there. Right. There's a culture that's created around sharing things with our families, with our friends.
Right.
Be underestimated. And so this package ban is something that is being pushed because they're pushing this narrative about drugs, right? The idea that, oh, drugs are coming through the packages. They're coming through the mail. We need to do something about this, right? And I agree, certainly you want to do something about the drugs, but I think it would be, we would be better served if we looked at some of the officers who smuggle the drugs in, right? And all the other pathways through which drugs come into the facilities. It's not just families and packages. It's not just through letters. It's just like there is just too much of an incentive for officers to bring in drugs.
Right.
And so that's something that's not really being looked at in the way that it should.
That Queensboro thing, that's hard on you, man. Queensboro, whew. Oh my God.
Right, Queensboro, they were trying to send me to Queensboro, but I fought that. I was like, nah, leave me in Sing Sing.
They tried to send me there for 4 months, but I only stayed there like 2. Me and the brother Shadow.
Oh yeah, I remember Shadow.
We walked out of there together. We did a seminar for the DEPA programs with some students from St. John's University, I think it was.
Okay.
And he told us to write them. He gave us both some good time, and he let us go the same day, 2 days before Christmas. Yeah, 2014. Yeah, that was dope. Me and Shadow.
That's what's up. Right,
Norazine,
I remember Norazine.
Yeah. Shout out Shadow. Rest in peace, Jonah. I see y'all throwing them up there. I see y'all posting it. Yeah. I see my brother Bam was in a photo with you at Edgecombe.
Yes, Bilal Lewis.
Yes, that's my brother, man. Next time you see him, man, you let him know I love him.
I will do that. As a matter of fact, I think he's in Florida too, so we both flew out today.
Oh, word, he snuck out there?
And I'm trying to see if I can get with him before he goes back. But yeah, like, we out here working.
Oh, we are working. Oh, okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, I think he's over at, I don't want to say, he's not at 14, he's at another organization, but he shows up at a lot of the rallies.
That's dope. That's what's up. Because he hit me every morning, religiously.
Wow.
Every morning I hear from him.
That's a bro. Yes, yeah. I see him often at City Hall at one of the facilities. One of the other things we were pushing for was Clean Slate New York, right? Which is to allow people with felonies to get their records clean after 7 years for purposes of employment, for purposes of housing, right? Because there's still...
Weren't you able to do it after 10?
So it very nearly passed the last legislative session.
Okay.
We're hoping that in January we have another opportunity next year. So it's very narrowly passed, failed, excuse me. And so there's a very slim margin, and so we're hoping that we can get over the hump by January. And so, matter of fact, we're holding rallies in Albany in January for clean slate and for communities not cases.
Okay.
So January 17th, I think, is our communities not cages, and the 24th, I think, is clean slate. Either or.
Okay.
I'll definitely be.
So how do you think it's looking for that 7 years clean slate thing?
It's looking good. It's looking good. Julia Salazar, Senator Mari, and others have garnered a lot of support for the bill. And it's good for everybody, right? Businesses all over New York State are in support of clean slate.
Are y'all asking that it be retroactive?
That's the hope is that it will be retroactive.
Okay.
Right? But for those individuals who are already, so say for an individual who has 5 years home and no violations,
right,
we want that to avail themselves of the bill as well. Absolutely.
Okay, that's what's up.
Absolutely.
That's what's up. This way, nobody's left behind. Nobody's left behind.
You know how it goes. Like you propose one thing, they make changes here and there, and then finally they bring it to the floor and have a vote, and we see what happens. But that is, for us, that would be the ideal.
Okay, that's what's up. You're gonna leave nobody behind.
Yeah, nobody behind. I mean, that's the reality. Like, so right now, when we were in prison, the population was crazy, some 75,000.
Right.
In New York State, right? And now the number is somewhere around 30,000, a little bit under 30,000.
But when we got there, well, I got to DOCS, DOC, New York State Department of Correction, in 93. I had a 93 number.
Right.
I don't think the population was in the 70,000.
Yeah. I got in. I think I got in 97, 98.
You got 98. That was the population then. See,
yeah,
that was the Pataki era starting.
53,000. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I rolled up in the state. It was the 50,000s. Yeah. I think it was like in the 50s.
It was crazy. Like, we just started seeing the population decrease over time.
Yeah, and then like in the late 90s, in the Pataki era, that shit just started booming.
Yeah, it started booming, right? And largely, again, to what we were talking about earlier, the policy was setting people to the max, keep people inside longer. I'm going to hit you at the parole board. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So one of the other interesting things that CCA is behind is also the Youth Justice and Opportunities Act.
Yes, explain that, because I seen that. I seen that, you and the other two brothers in the photo. What's that about?
So the other brother is Jose Perez. Jose Perez, he was in
Shawanga with us. Or was he in Sinking?
Shawanga. I think he was at Eastern. He was at Fisker with me, and he and I were in the same cohort in the master's program.
Okay.
In the photo with me, all three of us were in the master's program at Sinking together, and so he's working currently for the Children's Defense Fund, who was party to the Youth Justice and Opportunities Act. And so for us, it is like protecting like young people, more investments in programming, diversion programming, alternative to incarceration programming, keeping young people out is basically the mission there.
Listen, I love it, man, because it's boots on the ground for the incarcerated, the formerly incarcerated, and the youth. Like, nobody's being left behind. I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, to be honest with you, like on the inside, we always talk about, I want to come home and work in the community, right?
Right.
And we don't always get the opportunity to do that. Like, sometimes life gets in the way. People are pursuing their money and trying to get their life together. But I was fortunate to be able to be in this position to be able to do both. So get my life together and be able to do some of this work that it's important to me. It's important.
Listen, man, that's your blessing, man. That's your blessing, because you good dude, bro. I met you, 2000 in Shawanga? I got there in 2000.
I was there in 98. I got there in 98.
Yeah, I got there in 2000. I met you in Shawanga 2000. I left. I came back in 07. Like, I've known you a long time, brother. and you've always been the same person on the same energy. And I just believe you coming home and getting your life together and boots on the ground so quickly, that's your blessing from God, bro. You deserve it.
Yeah, thank you, beloved.
You deserve it, bro.
You know who else I came across? So we also have this campaign called the Court New York Deserves. So there's an opening at the Court of Appeal. The former judge stepped down, and we're trying to make sure that the next Court of Appeals justice is someone who actually respects the law and respects the people who come in front of them for justice. And so I hosted the Court New York Deserves Center for Community Alternative event, and one of the panel speakers was none other than Derek Hamilton.
Okay.
You remember he was at Shawango with us for many years.
Absolutely.
And got it and was exonerated finally. It's crazy. It's just amazing to be able to come across these brothers and see some of the work that they're doing. It's amazing. It's very encouraging.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So one other thing. So so one day my executive director, he sends me an email, a text, and he says, "Yo, what are you doing Tuesday night?" This is like a month ago, middle of November. He's like, "Yo, what are you doing?" 6:30, not much. Wow, what's up? He tells me, "All right, meet me at the bar building at 6:00." Right. So he says the bar building. It doesn't really dawn on me what he's really talking about. So I put the bar building into my phone, Google Maps and all that.
Right.
And lo and behold, it's the New York City Bar Association building, right? 144.
Okay.
I'm confused. I was like, why does he want me to go down there? I meet him outside. He ushers me inside. There's a meeting. Who knew that at the New York City Bar, they have a mass incarceration task force? And they have various committees under this task force. And so we go inside, and one of the committee leaders, he steps up and he introduces me to Stephanie Holmes and says, "Stephanie, I think it would be a great idea if you put Patrick on one of the committees." And so she did that. She took my resume and submitted all the paperwork. And so now, currently, I'm an adjunct member of the New York City Bar's Mass Incarceration Task Force, specifically on their corrections and community reentry committee.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of work to fight against the package bans, to have Rikers closed or change the conditions of Rikers, and to hold people accountable. It's a really, it's like he just put this opportunity in my face, and I'm very grateful for it. It's a lot of work, but I'm just so happy to be in a space where I can be doing this work.
That's what's up, bro.
As someone who spent decades in prison, as someone who studied prisons as an academic, as I was getting my degrees, there's no way for me to come out of that and not be an abolitionist. Say that prisons are not the things that are needed to create justice, to create accountability, to create healing in our society. Prisons are the worst place for that to happen.
Absolutely.
All
that goes on in there, man. Oh my God. They don't give you time to heal. They don't give you time to rehabilitate. It's just a bunch of bullshit. It's all about $1.
It's about $1, right? It's about how long can we keep you? How long can we keep some of these prisons open? If you think about it, like accountability in and of itself is something that requires some level of autonomy, right?
Right.
When a lot of us come to prison, it's very easy to forget about what we did to come to prison, right? You get involved in programming and you're doing what you do, like you're checking off the boxes because you want to go home.
Right.
You are forbidden, in fact, as an incarcerated person, from reaching out to the people that you hurt or the people that you harmed to go to prison.
Right.
Right? And so there's no space for healing. There's no real space for accountability. They use the word accountability, but at the end of the day, accountability is a personal thing, right? Accountability, no one can really hold you accountable. You can hold yourself accountable,
Right.
No one can force you to do that. You can punish me, yes. You can punish me and give me a heavy sentence, but as you know, beloved, a lot of us can spend many decades on the inside and never really have to think about seriously what we've done. Like, we can actually forget about it. Just forget about what I did. Just check the boxes. They want me to take this program and ART, I'm going to take that program. How much I get out of it, whatever. As long as they see that I passed it, it looks good for the board, right? And so that might be the extent to which accountability takes place, but there's no real focus on that. And healing, certainly not.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I had a conversation one time with a person, and I was like, yo, man, dude sat in their prison cells for 25 years, and they don't even know the name of their victim.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't even know the name of their victim. They don't give you a time to heal.
Right? How do you even? Right? That's.
You know what I mean?
When I was in this is crazy. I need to tell you this is crazy, right? So I'm in Fishkill. I'm only there for 5 months because I was in Easton. My classification had already dropped, but they keep you there while you're in school. They wait till wait till I graduate. So I graduate with the BA. I fill out my applications for the master's program, and in the meantime, they send me to Fishkill. So I'm in Fishkill for 5 months, right? I get to Fishkill. I've seen the Van Jones special called The Redemption Project. If you haven't watched it, for people out there, if you haven't watched it, this is something that.
Repeat that again.
It was called The Redemption Project. So it aired in 2019. It was about 8 episodes, I believe. And the whole focus of The Redemption Project is about accountability and healing, right? It is about what they commonly refer to as victim offender dialogue. So in one of the episodes, there's this young woman, who writes a letter to the incarcerated man who killed her mother when she was a child, right? He must have did, I think, 20 years. So when he's getting ready to go home, he gets this letter from this young woman and she's saying, look, I forgive you, but I want to know essentially like what happened to my mother. Did she mention my name before you killed her? Like, she wanted to know what happened, right?
Okay.
And so the whole series is about these conflicts that happen, the counseling that happens for each party before they actually have a face-to-face conversation with each other.
Right. So they got the help they needed.
They got the help that they needed, and so this is something that the system doesn't really focus on at all.
Wow. I was screaming all that shit a few months back, basically.
It's crazy. You can punish someone, right? And the victims, the so-called victims, they can be happy for a brief moment that you went to prison. But there's still unresolved trauma and unresolved issues related to what happened. They don't know everything that happened, right? You can cop out, you can do all of that, but they still need to know that eventually you're going to change your life and that you're no longer the person that committed this violence against them or violated them or their friends in any particular way.
But if they themselves don't heal, they'll never come to that understanding with you.
But part of their healing sometimes can be facilitated by that interaction.
Right.
So if you can imagine someone who so for me, I'll use me as an example. When I was very young, a very close friend of mine got murdered when he was 16. I was 17. He was one of my closest friends. Was murdered, and part of the pain was not really understanding what actually happened to him. Right? When you have part of the story, you can kind of try to make sense of it, but when you have that basic information, it makes it very difficult for you to get over that. Right? You start filling in the blanks. You start telling yourself, this might have happened, or maybe if this happened, that wouldn't have happened, right?
Right.
You start trying to come up with all these other alternatives, and that is you trying to piece things together and trying to find some sort of healing.
Oh.
And so the same thing happens to people who were victims of a particular crime.
Okay.
I go to prison. I committed a very violent murder in the 90s. I was on the run for about 3 years. I was very young. I was 21 or 22 when I committed this murder, and I was on the run for about 3 years, and so all that was trauma for the family, right? Not knowing,
Right.
you know, where I was I killing other people, right? They don't really know,
Right.
what, and they don't know what happened, why this happened to their son, right? And so, for me, I know.
You said you ran for 3 years?
Yeah, I was on the run for like, almost 3 years.
So your family had to live in that worry for 3 years?
Both families, my family and their family.
Right, okay, for 3 years.
The
No justice and your family worried for 3 years. I got you. I'm with you. I'm listening.
Everybody's worried, right? They don't know what's going to happen. They don't know, right? Is it going to be a shootout? Are they going to kill him? Are they ever going to find him, right? On the other side, it's very difficult. And so I know from my own experience, and I think a lot of us kind of know this, that when something happens to somebody that you love, somebody that you care about, or if it happens to you, you need to resolve that. And the only way you can't resolve that without the other party that hurts you, right? With some frustration. So anyway, in this redemption project, this young woman eventually comes face to face with the man that killed her mother. And she had been hearing stories from her aunt for many years about the monster that killed her mother, right? Now, this is the other thing about healing victims.
What's the name of this?
It was called the Redemption Project.
And where can I find this?
I think it was a CNN special, and Van Jones was the host.
The Redemption Project.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it, and I'll forward it to you. But this is very, very, very powerful.
I need to see that, man.
Yeah,
I really do.
very, very,
That shit sound. How old is that?
it aired originally in 2019.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people might have missed it because at the same time, it's funny because I was in a housing unit. They had like 2 TVs, and one TV was on the Redemption Project, and the other TV was on the final season of Game of Thrones.
I gotta see this Redemption
A lot of
Project.
people might have missed it.
I'm gonna get off the phone with you and look for this. I swear to God, it got too many similarities. But I'm gonna check for that. I'm listening to you.
It got me thinking, right? And so eventually, this young girl gets to talk to this man and finds out that he used to do drugs with her mother, right? They were drug buddies. And one day she must have came up to him and said, "Yo, give me $40. I know I can score some drugs." Right? He gives her the money. She never comes back. So the next time he sees her, it's an argument. They're fighting, and the next thing you know, he's got his hands around her throat, and she's dead. Right? Now, from his perspective, he's saying that, look, I was so sorry that I killed your mother. I didn't really want to do that. That wasn't my intention. I just got out of control. I felt like she played me, for lack of better wording, and that was the response.
Right.
Now, in that, for her, she had the opportunity to ask him questions about it, right? And really get the full story. And it was very integral to her healing. Most experts in the field will tell you that having a coherent narrative about what happened is very important to healing.
Right.
Without it, it becomes very difficult. And so to me, this is something that it was very powerful and motivated me to push for victim offender dialogues in New York and other places. And so that was one of the projects that my sister and I came up with. So that was my capstone for my master's.
Shout out to your sister. She's very active. Shout out.
Yes.
Shout out.
She's the one that helped me put together this Doing Sorry project.
I was going to ready to ask about that. I was ready to ask about that.
And so basically what Doing Sorry was, it came out of that. And so I need to tell you also that when I was in Fishkill, I ran into the younger brother of the man that I killed.
Wow.
He was incarcerated as well for murder as well.
Wow. See how that shit play out? And he's the younger brother, right? A younger brother.
It was crazy. It was crazy. And fortunately, the community around us was very progressive in terms of making sure that we got together.
Okay, that's what's up.
And so in the community, in the Rockford community, there were a bunch of guys who had known me for 10, 15 years. his older brother, he was the primary witness at my trial.
This kid?
This young man, yes.
Wow.
My trial, right? I don't recognize him. It's been 20-something years.
All right, now what you about to do is, you're about to tell my listeners and my viewers how you conducted yourself like a grown man in this situation. I say that because I get a lot of rah-rah shit on my channel from the prison system. You understand what I'm saying? And people conduct themselves a certain way. But right now, we in the prison system. And you're going to show people how you conduct yourself like a grown man in this very serious situation. Proceed, brother. Proceed.
You absolutely right, because it got tense because immediately people start splitting cans, right? People like, yo, this is Coach, we're not gonna let him do nothing to him. And then, yo, this is my man, I don't want nothing to happen to him. We gotta get him out of here, right? People are choosing sides, right? Because they don't know what I'm gonna do once I find out, right? And this is how I would say this is how God works. So this is on the heels of me watching this redemption project, right? The brothers in the roster communities were helping people prepare for their parole board.
Right.
So it was one of the few places in the state. I think it's the only place that has live parole boards. Everywhere else you're doing a teleconference, right? So people are prepared. People are nervous, right? They want to have an opportunity to work on themselves before they go for the parole board and get their parole package together, right?
Right.
It just so happens I'm down there on the night where this young brother is getting ready to do a mock parole board.
Okay.
Right? Now, at this point, I don't know who he is, right?
Did he know who you were?
He knows who I am. He knows who I am.
Okay.
Right? And for weeks, he was doing things like, yo, he was a student at Nyack College. I had finished bar, but I was tutoring. And so one day he asked me to look over paper for him. Right? I said, sure, I'll look over the PA. Absolutely. It doesn't matter if you with Nyack, I'm down here.
Right.
You with the paper, right? So he's been feeling me out for these whole 2 weeks. What type of person is he, right? Because the brothers, Dell, I don't know if you remember Dell.
Yeah, Dell, no doubt, little Dell.
All these brothers that we was with in Sawanga are telling him.
Dell, yeah, I remember Dell.
They're telling him, you don't need to worry about Coach coming at you. Right? As soon as he finds out who you are, you ain't gonna have no problems. Like, he's not even on that type of time, right?
Okay.
He's trying to feel it out for himself. So this night, I'm down there, he's getting ready to do his mock parole board. Now, what happens during these parole boards is that you have to say your government name.
I was about to say that. I was wondering when you read the paper he asked you to read, you didn't see the government name.
I didn't see the government name. No.
Okay. I'm with you.
So, right? So this night, so he realizes, oh shit, it's about to come to a head, because as soon as he hits my name, people know who I am, right? So he goes to the elders in the community, Blacker and Boulevard, some of the brothers there, and Boulevard comes to me and says, yo, Kush, we need to talk. And he pulls me in the back. So I followed him. That was good. So it's the two brothers standing in between me and this younger brother who's sitting down, right? And Boulevard turns to me, he says, yo, brother, I don't know what to tell you, but ever since you got here, there's been a lot of turmoil in the community. I'm straight up. This brother right here says that you killed this brother, right? And as soon as he says that, and I look at the young brother, I'm like, yeah. So I call his name. He said, yeah. And I go to step towards him, and Boulevard and them get in between us. He's like, yo, bro, we also know that he testified against you.
Right.
They don't know what I'm thinking. Like, I'm just really mean, so they don't really know what type of time I'm really on. But I reassured him, like, brother, I'm like, the last thing on my mind is doing anything to the brother. In fact, I hugged him. He allowed me to hug him and embrace him. And we sat there for about a half an hour and had a conversation about what really happened.
Wow.
Right? So he had some misconceptions. He was 16 at the time, 16, 17 at the time.
You were in your early 20s, right?
Yeah, he was young. I was in my early 20s. His brother was 19 when I killed him.
Okay.
And so he didn't really know what had happened, right? He heard this, that, and the third, and it was very difficult telling him the truth,
Right.
right? That your brother, I don't really want to go too much into detail.
I got you, brother.
That your brother was doing things that I didn't know how to handle.
Right.
And they introduced guns into the situation, and I just didn't know how to handle that.
Right.
As a young man who's in the streets. I'm in the streets myself. I can't really deny
you talking early 90s, mid 90s. It was different.
different time.
It was different.
And yeah. So there's that. So we have this conversation. It's about a half hour, 45 minutes. We're there talking, and I kind of make a promise to him that, bro, listen, I don't really. This is brand new for me. I don't really know what to do in this space, but like if whatever questions you have for me, like I'm here, and whatever help I can do to make sure that you get home, I'm gonna do that. So he was doing good work. He was going to school. He was running the rec program. He had like an exercise program there in Fishkill, and so he was doing great work. And it was like, I need to do what I can to help him heal and to
right.
Get home. And fortunately, that's how it played out. He eventually went home.
From Fishkill?
He went home from Fishkill, yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. How does this work? How do you help a guy prepare for parole and you ain't never been to parole board? How does that work?
Right, and so what we did was we got materials from the parole preparation project, Michelle Lewin and us. So they produced packets that help assist people with parole. And over the decades, we have how many conversations have we had with individuals that went to the parole board? Like what happened?
Okay.
What did they ask you? And so you use that feedback to help inform what we do. And so at the end of the day, for me, it's about like you go in front of the parole board. It's about just being honest and just telling the truth. At the end of the day, like there's nothing else that you can really do, right? Because they're gonna look at you how they look at you. You need to put your best foot forward, and be truthful.
Absolutely.
And hopefully that'll come through. If it doesn't, at the end of the day, you could say you did your best, right? Like you yeah. So there's really no other way to deal with it. I think for me, one of the major things is when you're looking at people's parole package, you just want to make sure that it's very organized, that it's edited cleanly, that it's very concise, that it isn't too long, because as you know,
right, you lose them.
You lose them. They don't have time.
Salute to my wife. She in the building. She said to tell you hello. My wife is in the building.
Everybody thinks. If you think, and people really believe this, like they're put together these packets are like 100 pages long with writing. I said, if you think
they gonna read all that.
Read all of that, you're sadly mistaken. You can have 100 pages, but let 90 of those pages, 80 of those pages be like certificates and
right.
Stuff like that.
Right.
Like personal statement, all that, keep that short.
Right.
Short and tight. Be prepared to talk about your transformation and the programs you've been in and your remorse, and go from there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so like a lot of that, so that's basically what we offer people when we're helping them with parole. What do the experts say about parole? What are some of the questions you're likely to encounter? And it's not so much like I think that there's a concern that people are being coached on what to say in parole board, but that's not really what we do. But from our perspective, it's about holding people accountable.
When you say it's a concern for who?
For people on the opposite side, right? So for conservatives, for parole people, for the Department of Corrections, they do not encourage us to help people with mock parole boards. Like they don't want that. They want you to go in there raw and just handle it how you handle it, right?
Right. Of course, that's what they want.
Like, so here's the thing, like, so for us on the inside, like, we know who's really changed their life on the inside, right? Like, we're around dudes 24/7. We know who's still doing what, who's still in the street, who's really on it, right?
Right.
So, like, when we're helping people, we're not helping people to get over, right? For us, it is helping people to really answer the tough questions. Because we ask them hard questions.
Right.
These mock parole boards. Like, it's like, it ain't no skate to fall in it. It's not, look, when you get it for parole board, this is what you should say and how you should say it.
Right. Get to the meat.
And explain to us what this transformation that you had, what did that really look like? You know what I mean? So it's really about holding people accountable and thinking from the perspective of victims. So when we, like, often what I tell people is that the parole board isn't really, they're not really the ones that I should be afraid of, right? The ones I should be concerned with are the people that I actually hurt. And so when I'm talking to the parole board, I'm really thinking through that lens. I'm recognizing them as an intermediary between me and the people that I actually hurt. And so that's my perspective. So when I go talk to the parole board, or if I talk to anybody about my situation, that's how I approach it. And so that's what I advise people.
See, yo, listen, man. We ain't forget get the brothers that's up for parole. We covering it all. We ain't forgetting nobody. Listen, what is any of your organizations doing for Christmas?
So for Christmas, most of them are going to be shut down, but a number of people are doing some individual projects. For us, the Christmas break, even though we say we're shut down, a lot of us individually will be working on preparing for the rallies in January.
Okay.
So the rallies will be on the 17th and on the 24th in Albany. That'll be our Clean Slate Initiative and Communities Not Cages. And so a lot of us who are going there, we're trying to rally people to come up to Albany. And in fact, if anybody in the audience, if you're in the New York area and you want to support Communities Not Cages or any of these initiatives, in fact, if you go on Google, if you do a Google search and you put in Communities Not Cages, it'll pop up.
Communities Not Cages.
Communities Not Cages. And if you put that in, you'll see our demands. And our demands are going to be those 3 bills that I spoke about, ending mandatory minimum, second look, and earned time act.
Okay.
And you can support those bills, and there's a very quick tool. So there's a tab that says take action. And if you hit that tab, it will go right to a section where you can send an email directly to your senator and assemblyman in New York to show that you support these bills.
Okay.
Also, a tab that you can click that will connect you by phone to that senator or assemblyman. And so you can voice your opinion very clearly.
On a recorded line. No doubt.
And so that's what we're on right now. And then in terms of the task force, like we're right now outlining the New York City bar position. And so like one thing people need to know about the New York City bar is that they're very conservative or neutral in most cases. And so I'm probably one of the more progressive people on the committee. And so a lot of what I do is try to convince people about what the realities of prison is and how you figure out how do we really end mass incarceration in New York State. Absolutely. In a way that is safe and that is something that they can get on board with.
Because the numbers are going down. That's a good look. The numbers are going down.
Yeah, we're trying to get the numbers down. We're trying to get the numbers, like this 30,000 is too much for us.
That's what's up.
Right? And out of that 30,000, there's 7,000 that if these bills don't pass, they will never come home. They will die in prison. Right? Guys like Steve Williamson and Freddie, right? All these guys that we know that were guys that had life without the possibility of parole, men who were on death row, right? When death row was a thing in New York State.
Big Kingdom.
Right?
Yeah.
They will die in prison, and many of these men have a lot to offer. A lot of them have changed their lives, and for us, I mean, for me personally, as someone who's doing this work and who has this lived experience, there's one thing that I came away with, and that is no one is dispensable, right? Everybody,
never getting out.
Everybody has value. Everybody has
God, that is so
to work and to touch another human being in a way that is positive. And many of the dudes that we're talking about, like for people to meet and have a conversation with someone like Steve Williamson, that you wouldn't even believe that he's in prison. Right?
Shout out Jay Johnson. He another lifer. That's my boy
Just like,
Jay. Shout out Jay Johnson. That's my guy. He was in the dark with us for a long time.
so these are people that looked out for people on the inside. And this is the other thing that people don't know. Like you talk about PREA as a thing, right? Against rape. Which is the preventing rape elimination act.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always interesting to me to see, they would parade people on these videos and talk about how rape happens in prison. And the reality is that, like you and I know,
Word.
the reason people don't get raped in New York State is because of the people in New York State. Like the men in those facilities would not tolerate that.
Absolutely.
Right? They're not going to let you run down on no young kid, and that's not going to happen. Anybody who would do what's going on, they'll put a stop to that immediately. Right? Like when now the greater concern, particularly in the women's prisons, the rapes happening from guards.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That for me has always been the largest concern. So it was always interesting to me that they would come up with this PREA act and these PREA videos as if that's really a thing in New York State.
Men's prisons.
And that isn't to say that rapes don't happen. Rapes occur.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Look, I spent 24 and a half years in prison, and I've never seen anyone raped unless they wanted to be.
Right.
And that's not really a rape, right? Yeah. So that's really where I'm at. It's really trying to harness the value of incarcerated people who have really changed their lives, who have become very serious thinkers about the system and their lives and about the structures that led to their incarceration and their own personal responsibility. Like, these are not individuals who are saying, woe is me, the system was horrible to me, and that's why I came to prison. These are not we don't come from that.
Right.
We come from that. Yes, we recognize that racism is a thing.
Because people evolve.
For advantages. But we also take personal responsibility for our own actions, and we recognize that a lot of our unresolved trauma has acted in ways that led to prison, and we can do something about that.
It's called evolution. People evolve. Things evolve. Absolutely. Listen, can you promise me that you'll send me the flyers for the 2 marches that's going to take place in the month of January in Auburn? The 2 rallies?
I will do that. I will send you all the information that you need. In fact, if anybody in the New York City area would like to join us, we're having buses. I'm not sure where the buses are coming from, but what I'll do is send you all the information that you need. As a matter of fact, I think if you go on the website, again, if you type in like Clean Slate or Community Act Changes, I believe there is a link to the buses for information for people who want to join, who want to attend the rallies in person.
Also, when he send me those flyers, y'all know I'm going to blast off on my social media. I'm going to post them all over the social media so everybody could be on point with that. Listen, Patrick, man, I love you, bro. I love your energy. I needed this energy tonight. We going through it back home in Brooklyn. We lost Shoe Shine. We lost Jonah today. We going through it. And this was like a breath of fresh air for me and mine, man. My wife is in the building. Shout out OG Sonny Blanco. My wife is in the building. We really needed this, man. I think my camera...
Shout out your wife. And how's your boy doing? I remember when I was the first for Osborne, and I remember when your wife used to come in on the business and stuff, your boy and everything.
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah, she's still holding it down, man. I'm going to definitely let her know you said hello, man.
And your wife used to tease you because we used to play the word games and stuff. I see, you just a smart motherfucker, huh?
Yeah, now she know. Now she know. I think my camera's a little fuzzy, man, because I'm actually using her phone and she got one of those screens on it that's made of plastic. That's a waterproof shit. So if my screen is fuzzy tonight, man, I apologize, but y'all ain't need to see me. All I needed to do was hear the brother Patrick speak. Alright? So once again, Patrick, man, I appreciate you coming through. And you know this floor is always open for you. You got anything going on, you want to get a message out to the people, hit me up and we can always do this again.
That's what's up. That's what's up, brother. Thank you, bro.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming through, man. Salute
What's up?
and safe travels while you out there in Florida, right, brother?
Absolutely. Happy holidays to everybody. Stay blessed. Count your blessings and enjoy life.
All right, peace.
Love.
Beloved. Ah, that was my guy. That was my guy, y'all. Patrick Stevens, man. I met that brother back in the year 2000. My first trip to Shawanga. Yeah, man. Damn, I didn't know he came in prison in his 20s. I thought he came to prison as a kid. But I met him in 2000 and I was in my 20s, so, you know. But it's all good, you know. Yeah, mommy, what's up? What's up? What's up? My mom, my wife in the building. Listen, man, I promised y'all a good show. I'm sorry if the camera was a little fuzzy. That was probably some motherfucking chicken Philly cheesesteak grease on my motherfucking hands. Cause I was eating before I got on this live with y'all, man. I work hard for y'all, man. I put in my work on the job. Came home. No, I didn't even come home from work. I went to the mall from work. Did some late Christmas shopping for the wife. Came home. I had to politic with my brother's Patrick before I called him. I had to feed my wife, feed my dog, shower, and I was the last one to eat right before I got on the air, man. And I only ate half my food, so I'm ready to get the fuck off the air and go eat the rest of my food, real talk. But I appreciate y'all coming through. Y'all know how this shit go down. If you enjoyed the live, play it back. The brother gave us a lot of information tonight. So if you enjoyed this live, go play it back. Real talk. OG Sonny Blanco, salute. Yo, 2023 gonna be a cooker. Yeah, man. I'm giving OG Sonny Blanco his interview. We've been planning that shit for about 6 months. But you know, life take its turn. He this way, I'm this way. He work, I work. Shit just didn't happen. You know, he had a significant other under the weather. My wife was under the weather. Shit just never happened. But I'm telling y'all right now, 2023 gonna be a movie. We don't know how we want to do it. We don't know if we want to get suited and booted at a cigar lounge or we just want to thug it out. Hoodies and Timbs. Who the fuck knows? But it's going down. It's going down. 2023 is going to be a movie. The Big Fruit interview on the OG Sonny Blanco channel. I got a story to tell. So y'all stay tuned for that. And on my channel, it's going down too. I'm going to bring 2023 in with that low life history. Yeah. Shout out Pablo. He coming. I'm going to bring that low history. Yeah, we're gonna do a tribute to the ladies. Yeah, we're gonna do the marriage while incarcerated and upon release. We're gonna let some brothers come up here and big up their wives from their bids and their wives, as well as their free time in society with their wife. Yeah, we doing some things in 2023. I got some shit lined up. What else I got? Oh, shout out Little OD. The Money Train. Yeah, I got the Money Train lined up. Yeah. Falsely Accused. He got a story to tell. I got that coming up in January 2023. And then y'all already know. Part 2 to the Queensbridge story. God damn. I'm booked for the month of January. I'm booked. Yeah, I'm going to bring the New Year's in right, man. So y'all stay tuned. Real talk. And on that note, your boy Big Fruit is up out of here. Because I'm going to bust down the rest of that motherfucking chicken Philly steak. Real talk. I'm hungry. I'm up out of here, man. Salute.